Good morning, everybody. Good morning. Good morning. Apologize for my tardiness. Once again, it is my birthday and I am old. Therefore, I am slower. So I appreciate you waiting. I appreciate you coming in. And today we're going to have a lot of fun. We're going to hang out. We're going to talk about Crit Happens, my newest issue of Crit Happens, issue number 11, Village of Skyreach. I'll show you right here. There we go. And it is 40, let me see here, 42 pages. 42 pages. So, excuse me. So we're going to go through that. And I'm going to show you, this is not a normal in the sense of, I like to over-promise and over-deliver if I can. I try to give you more. Somebody told me, I think it was Tim, Tim told me that that the average zine is maybe 15 pages, something like that. And so I just can't fit everything in 15 pages. I made there maybe my earlier ones, my earlier zines maybe were that. And by the way, this is number 11. That means next month I will have been putting out a zine every month for 12 months. It'll be a 1-year anniversary of Crit Happens, so I'll have to do another live for that. And so I'm going to be checking out here the chat here from time to time, so feel free to let me know if this is your first time here. Thank you for being here. Thanks for being a part today. Appreciate you coming and hang out this morning. Yeah. Vance says you don't look a day over 39. I like that. I like that kind of thinking, Vance. I like that kind of thing. And I always think that once again, I think guys are different than, women, obviously. I think guys always think they look younger. I do think I look younger than 57. That's my perception. Maybe it's my delusion, but let me have it. Please. Allow me my delusion, please. So we're going to talk about, like I said, we're going to talk about all the things today. We're going to talk about the Crit Happens, issue number 11, and we're going to get into some things. I may even show you, I just paid for some artwork. Normally, the artwork that I use for my zines is in Canva, and I think that all this is artwork from Canva. So my monthly thing that I pay to Canva, to me, I think they have some great artwork in there. I think they have a lot of old school art that looks really cool, and so I've tried to, the zines. I'm getting better at it. At least I think I am. I'm getting better at putting together zines, maybe formatting, choosing artwork. What's the right amount of artwork? That's a good question I would ask you guys. How much artwork do you really want in a zine? I don't do every page. Maybe we'll do a count today. We'll just see how many pages actually have art on it. And that's not an advert or something like that. That's like real artwork that's in there to emphasize, what is being said or what is being described. Vance, do you have an idea? Hello, Erudite DM. Good to see you today. Happy to see you. Thanks for stopping by. How much artwork is enough artwork? And this is not going to be what we're talking about today, but that's the question, right? What is the how much artwork is enough artwork? Once again, that's something that I am trying to, figure out for myself, and I'm working, to hopefully, get it the right amount. We'll discover that. As we go along today. So, like I said, I think I'm good. Like I said, I just paid for some artwork. So I'm going to show you a dragon today for June's issue. Vance says yes. Yes. How much artwork? Yes. All the artwork. Well, and I think about, too, something I have to be conscious about now, as somebody who puts out a zine, that people are going to print this. And are people going to, shake their fist at me and go, Paul, you put so much artwork in there, is bleeding my printer dry? I have to think about those things. I don't know. Do you guys print off? Tell me. Matthew Sherman, thank you for the happy birthday. Tell me, Matthew Sherman, do you print off the zines? Do you print them off? I want to know. Or do you just leave them in PDF form and say, hey, I'm going to read it off and just use it off the PDF? Because those are things I need to know in putting out this zine. I have to know things about this. So I try to be good with your printers if I can. I do want to let you know, for those that are here today, that I am the zine today. I'm doing the birthday special, if you will. And the zine is going to be 50% off. So it means it's going to be a whopping $1, everybody. If you've not purchased your zine, it's going to be up until midnight, 12:01 tonight, when my birthday is done. Then it'll go away. So you can. Let's see. Vance says, just don't do a wall of black. Yeah, no, I don't do that. Nope. That just doesn't seem like, I mean, if you're a major publisher, sure. But if you're doing a zine, that might be a little bit much. I don't know. Matthew says, I keep PDF, possibly print pages if needed. Okay, I got you. Gotcha. Using Canva 2, I'm creating a print-friendly version of each issue. Okay. I'll never financially recover from this. Yeah, I'm sure there's things you printed off maybe that you go, wow. Because, I mean, listen, cartridges are high. I mean, it's $40 for me. Yours may vary. Your prices may vary for your printer, but I know it's $40, and that's $40 I don't want to spend if I don't have to spend it, right? So yeah, the link in the chat is for the single issue. You can. I'm doing a bundle on the whole shebang here. You can get the whole bundle at 50% off because that's how I feel today. I'm in a good mood, and I feel like, why not? Why not put the whole shebang, get all of it for like $6? Right? Get the Hex Crawl Bundle for $6. Right? Half off. And I don't even think I think that's correct. Yeah, because I think it's always $2 cheaper, and it would normally be $16, so it would be $14 because you're getting a free zine, and basically you're not paying equal amounts. Every zine is $2, and so you're going to get 50% off that, which is $7 for the whole shebangy. So feel free to share that, by the way. And if you would like to leave me a review, if you'd like to get me a birthday present, please leave me a review. Now, listen, I'm going to put if you can leave it in 2 places, if you can leave it on Drive-Thru and on Gumroad. I use Gumroad a lot. I just like the singularity, if you will, of Gumroad. That's why I host it there. And so I like the fact that it's just, look, I'm just looking at that. I'm not looking at 25 other things. I'm just looking at my stuff, and that's all I'm looking at. And I can focus on that rather than being distracted by, 20 deal of the day and, 50 other zines that I want to get. And so I'm trying to dial into, what I'm doing. And so if you would like to leave a review, wherever that may be, for the zine, wherever you purchase it at, then please, please do. I'm going to put the link to my my page on Drive-Thru in there as well. So if you would like to leave a review there, and for some odd reason, and I don't know when I did this was early on when I did this, I think I just didn't want to get sued. Because I didn't want people thinking, well, Flint Fireforge, that's a character from a Dragonlance novel. Can he do that? I did. So I go by Tabletop Tinker over there. So I'm going to go ahead and put that in the chat there. So if you would like to leave a review, that's your birthday present to me. Leave a review. So there it is. There's the Drive-Thru. So if you want to, whether you want to purchase it through Drive-Thru, which I don't have the 50% off on Drive-Thru. I just have it on Gumroad, and I don't know why I did that. But I did. So if you want to leave a review, Either place, both places. And I don't know. I think, you tell me, I think I would think that products that have a lot of reviews and stars, much like other things like Amazon, maybe get pushed or recommended maybe a little bit more. I don't know. I have to find out those things. All right. So I think we've reached that place where it's time to dive into the Crit Happens. I would say this, if you're here, if you're brand new, never been here before, and you say, hey, Paul, I'd like to have more content from you, then I'd suggest becoming a member. Okay, join the first watch. Come on, somebody's got to do first watch. You get loyalty badges, emoji. You get the Crit Happens zine. Those of you here know, if you're a member, you get it automatically. And you get early access to videos, posts, all the good stuff. So be sure to go ahead and become a member right here on the channel. Appreciate you doing that if that is your desire. So let's go ahead and jump in here, and let's talk about the zine. I think we have chatted, we have shared things, we have all that stuff. So we will go through and I'll break things down. So let's go to, let's make sure I got my stuff correct, because I don't want to go to, I think I have everything else closed, which is kind of important when you do this. So we have that is there. And here I am. Here's the Crit Happens here. And I will add a camera. At least that's what I think I'm going to do. Here I am. Hello. Hello. Welcome to Crit Happens. Except it's not supposed to be issue number 10. It's issue number 11, Paul. Get it right, Paul Turner. What is wrong with you? Let's go to projects here. See that you gotta do your homework here, buddy. You gotta do your homework. Let's go to projects. Let's get. Oh, there it is. Because I had done something to that. There we go. All right, moving right along here. Let's go to. Well, we don't want that. All right, here we go. I think we're happening now. Let's get back to this. Too many things happening. I got to shut it. See, that's the thing too, is I have to shut things off, like my text and whatnot. All right, so as we go through, let's go look at this, and I'll share a little bit about why maybe I did the design the way I did, or why I talked about what I did, or what I did. And hopefully I'm going to add this commentary maybe, or I'll do a separate commentary and add it as an audio zine, where I'm going to call it the Creator's Commentary, and just add it to my zine and explain why I'm doing what I'm doing. So let's go ahead and let's do it this way. And let's see here. We're going to... All right, here we go. We'll go this way. I normally scroll, but I'll go this way. All right, artwork. What do you think about the artwork, by the way? Feel free to leave a comment. Would love your comments. Feel free to tell me what you think about the artwork there. I think I did a good job on the front cover. Is it evocative enough? Is it catchy? That's the thing about doing black and white, you know, I know you could do it black and white a lot more, a lot better, you know, to make it more engaging. But I'm sticking with the theme at the moment. I'm sticking with kind of I don't want to change too drastically. I would change if I knew what to change to, but I feel like this is a very simple design because it has the Hex Crawl of Horror, it has the hexes on there, it lets you know what it is. Hex Crawl, sandbox, all the things, a little bit of blood splatter, and then what the thing is, right? So that's kind of what I'm shooting for here. So then we have the introduction about, for those people that don't know what the Hex Horror is, what the Hex Crawl of Horror is, where I started with it, those kind of things. Give them a little bit of background. And then I give you the table of contents. I give you the founding of Skyreach Village. Then I give you some main locations right here. There are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 7. I feel like there should be 8, though, for some reason. I think I have them all. You know what I don't have on there is I don't have, and I probably need to include that, is the Valeview Amphitheater. I think that's what's missing. So I just need to add that to it. There we go. It's in the book. It's just not in the table of contents. So there we go. I love to discover my own mistakes during a live stream. That's my favorite thing to do. No matter how much I edit, doesn't matter. All right. Then we have table of contents continued. Map of Skyreach. Give you a map in this one, just like I gave you maps in the other one. In the Land of the Gods, I gave you those big maps. I give you maps here as well. Then I give you other notable NPCs that run some of the shops of Skyreach. Then I talk about the Veil and the Veil Friend or Foe table, which we'll get into. So I'm not going to go through. I'm not going to read the whole thing unless you tell me to read the whole thing. Do you want to read the whole thing? Do you want me to read that, or do you want to leave that? Or you just want me to just kind of. I'll give you the brief, the big points, right? I'll give you the big points if that's what you want me to do. I will do that, or I will read it, whichever you choose. Chat, what do you want me to do? You want me to read through it, or do you want me to give you the highlights? Let me know what you want. Because, and once again, I've tried to put in there, in my descriptions, in my writing, I try to put little things that also become hooks and threads for adventures. I try not to just write it just straight. I try to say, oh, what can I put in here? What can I put in here that gets somebody thinking about something? All right, the 30,000-foot flyover. Okay, love it. Let's do that. So we have the flyover, basically. Festus Slew is the founder. And he basically, he heard rumors of this thing called the Etherean Veil, which they discovered it's basically this shimmering portal that sort of opens up. And what people believed it to be kind of a nature thing, it wasn't. It came to find out that the Etherean Veil was something else. And so Festus Slew, decided he's going to build a town here because it's going to be an important thing, he thought. He got this vision as he kind of looked over the precipice and saw this and saw, what would become the Valeview Amphitheater. They have now what's called the Starfall Festival, where this whole place is like, it's a combination of Burning Man twice a year right now. Twice a year. It's a combination of Burning Man and Area 51. That's kind of my idea, my thought, that strange things happen here. And it turns into this, it's one of those small towns. I think, where did I read? The big motorcycle event up in Dakotas is like, the town is 7,000 people and like 500,000 people show up. So this is kind of what Skyreach is. Skyreach is that place where they have these big festivals, and people show up, and the town goes crazy, and they make a lot of money. They do pretty well, but that's it. That's what this is. It's Festus said, look, we got to build a town here. Strange things are happening. As you can see there, the little piece of artwork. But by the way, somebody do a count for me on the artwork. I think we've seen one. If you don't count the cover, don't count the cover. The cover's the cover. So I'm going to say this is your first piece of artwork. That's one. And basically he has this encounter, and he says this is both dangerous. This Etherean Veil is both dangerous and could be a blessing, because it's revealing something else that's going on. And that's when they started to build things, and they started to build the town kind of around that idea and that thought. And this was a long time ago, long time ago, where this started to happen. And later on, you'll see some of these other things were built around that. And the first thing he built there, I will note this, that the first thing that was built there was a Tower of Aether, which Tower of Aether is for the god of Aether, which is about the god of law and order. And so basically you're looking at paladin type knights. I do like that Arthurian sounds like Arthurian, kind of like Knights of the Round Table, right? Of Arthurian legend. And so you have these Arthurian knights who protect the town. Nothing has, by the way, nothing has come through. There's been little clues that I've kind of put throughout this that give you an idea that there's something else out there. I'm going to toss in, this is a lot like the X-Files too. There's some X-Files stuff maybe going on. But so you see that, you know, that what's happening here is nothing's come through yet. So the first time that I have not run this for anyone yet, but the first thing that's going to happen, and you'll see later on, there's a friend and foe table. Everything's going to go crazy. And after that, this is how it's going to launch. We're going to launch this setting into the stratosphere in one session and kick it off. And it's going to define the town. It's going to define what it is, and maybe define the other areas around it as well. So build the Tower of Aether, which is just a big kind of big white ivory tower. That's like, hey, there it is. That's kind of what it looks like, kind of, right? So that's what? That's 1, 2, 3 pieces of art. 3. Who's keeping count? 3 pieces of art. I'm trying to keep count and keep going here. So they build it, and they said, look, somebody's got to protect the place. Skyreach from the veil, but maybe we need to be aware that something's going to come through it that might be a blessing, that might be something that's going to help us. Yeah, Sturgis, that's what it is. I couldn't remember the name of the thing, but Sturgis, like I said, town of 7,000, 500,000 people show up. That's how that works. And as we continue here, we have more. That's 3 pieces of art, and now we have Skyreach Village, right? The growing village of Skyreach is the home of Starfall Festival, combination of Burning Man, Area 51, but some of the more mystical residents call the event the Thinning, which is the very thin, what's on the other side, whatever's out there, there's things that are coming through, dribbles and drabbles of things that are revealing that there's something beyond Kriesh. Something's out there. Skyreach is also the home to Ironclad Yards, a city within a city, and I should have put a village within a village. Manufacturers of road hulks, which are ironclad transports that were once used during the wars of the Shadow Era, but now sold all over the land of the gods to deliver supplies. So they're basically like the Brinks truck. They're traveling. They're a transport type of business, among other things. And Fargo Slough is the ward of Skyreach and is a distant relative of the Slough family that founded Skyreach. And during the Starfall Festival, crowds will gather into the Vale View Amphitheater to watch the mystical Arthurian veil unfold, and whether anyone or anything emerges, and whether anyone is willing to enter. So that's also the goal here, maybe, is to say, look, if players really want to go in there, they can go in there. I don't know where it's going to go yet, but they can go in there if they want. It's fine. Do that, right? And as we move along here, you can lodge. There's all kinds of shops there at the Skyreach. There's, there's various characters that run this place, and these are really cool, these little elements here. So we have 3. So that's 3, that's 4, that's 5, 6. 6 pieces of art. And I think that gives a good idea of what the town kind of looks like. I found these little rocks here. That's the amphitheater. The amphitheater is nothing but rocks. It's like seating, right? It's like stadium seating almost, where the veil shows up like almost like a movie screen, and people are watching. And there's all these tents and performers and just crazy stuff going on, right? And then we move along, and we have, like I said, Ironclad Yards, industrial complex. You've seen those big industrial complexes that basically everything's in there that you need. You don't really need to go outside of it. It's run by Skaznat Metalborn, whose father built the yards during the Shadow Wars to manufacture road hulks and restore order to the land of the gods. So these are like, if you were to like take they're not Jeeps, but I'm just as a reference, they could be tanks, I don't think they're tanks though, because, and I had to figure out, by the way, I'll tell you one thing that has really, and I said this last night on Eric Tenkar's live show, talking about the economics of a place. I had to decide what was going to pull these road hulks. What kind of animal, what kind of thing? Well, they raise these giant rams. And I thought, well, what would be a good war animal that would be good in a war? Well, I think a ram is excellent. A ram just leading these, these road hulks into battle that the rams can fight, and then the road hulks are going to do what they're going to do. And so then I had to figure out, well, where do they raise those? Well, they raise those up north in Windstone. And so now there's an economy going on there that, you got to go get some more goats, more rams. And you got to there's a lot of things going on here that I had to think about that has now vastly expanded the region of the Iron Gods, the region of the Land of the Gods, based on pure economics of what is needed where, and what do adventurers need to go get, or to fetch something, or whatever it may be. And you'll kind of see, like I said, all throughout this, I've tried to put those type of things where your adventurers can go somewhere, right? And I'll put this little last bit here. The Yards is often at odds with Skyreach proper and its mayor Fargo Slew over economic development. The mayor also believes that Skosnat is affiliated with the Cult of the Veil, but has no proof. Well, we'll see. We don't know. There's a cult there, though. That cult has not yet been created, but now you know there's a Cult of the Veil. You knew there would be, right? There's a Cult of the Veil. And as we move along here, then you have the Slag. This is the location inside of, inside of the Ironclad Yards. And the Slag is the heart of the Yards. It's where the road hulks, among other things, are manufactured. Sky Iron, which is found in the Ethereum Mountains, which are meteors, basically. And I'm going to put somewhere in the history that there was a meteor shower. Now, why that happened, we don't know. It just happened, and these meteors got stuck in the mountains somewhere, all over the place, and you are now mining for this. Basically, you're going up into the mountains and you're finding these, finding the Sky Iron and bringing it, back to the Yards to make these hulks, these road hulks. The heat the Slag generates is immense, and an eerie glow can be seen for miles. There's gossip around Skyreach that some kind of otherworldly source is powering the forges. And Dwardak Bone Grip oversees the Slag and runs a tight ship. There are stories among those who work in the Yards that he once threw a sleeping employee into the forge, but this story has not yet been verified. Maybe, maybe not. We'll see. And by the way, you notice there I put numbers because there is a map in here, so I have them numbered as we go along. You have the Hammer and Spark, which is the Yards that's their bar, basically. So when the employees of the Yards, who call themselves slaggers, need a place to blow off steam, they head to the Hammer and Spark for drinks, gambling, and sport. Owner and part-time bartender Raven Lavoie holds court and serves drinks when she's not making special deliveries in her road hulk she calls Beast. The Beast is her baby, and she has customized it for quick getaways or head-to-head battles. She's one of the best, if not the best driver in all of Skyreach. Nightly contests of scrap and other games, which I show you how to play that. I give you I give you like a little game thing to play in there, a little micro game within the game. How slaggers earn coin to buy necessities from the treasure house. So we don't know what's in there yet. We're going to find out. And then I have a table here where who's in the Hammer and Spark. It basically, roll 2d6 3 times if it's in the daytime and roll it 4 times if it's at night. So there's lots of things going on here. I won't go through all that. You can see that. Could be some Aether Knights looking for somebody. And you'll see this later, that the Aetherian Knights, sometimes there's a conflict there about who runs this town. Is it Skosnat and his father, Doric, or is the Aetherian Knights have jurisdiction? It's a thing. I almost take that from, I used to watch the show, what was it called? Oh, it was one of my favorite shows. It was on Netflix. and it was about a sheriff, and the sheriff and the Indian reservation would get into it, because basically who has jurisdiction here, right? Who has jurisdiction? Good morning, Terry. Thank you. Good to see you this morning. Let's see. Good morning, Tim. Thank you for being here. Appreciate you being a part for today. And somewhere between Kosogan and whose side? War Wagon. Sure. I will have to look those things up because I'll have to look. Sounds good to me. I'm down. I'm down for that. I got to figure out what that is. It almost looks to me like a beetle, almost like a rounded, something like that in my head. But let me look. I'll look at those things and say, okay, is that what I need to do here? Maybe I'll borrow some tips. But I will have, guaranteed, I will have an entire mapped out vehicle thing. And then I have other plans. I won't get into those today about how those are going to work. All right, moving right along. You have potentially Hammer and Spark. Moving along, Skyreach Inn and Tavern. So there's some competition. The inn sits just off the road with a decommissioned road hulk beside it, beckoning travelers to stop, drink, and stay a while. The inn is patronized by mostly Skyreach regulars and does not stand in competition with the Hammer and Spark, although slaggers who want a quieter spot to eat and drink will drop by from time to time. Owen Lasher, known as Owen the Merciful, is a former member of the Aether Knights, and opened the inn, leaving the order. Opened the inn upon leaving the order. The inn is a robust menu, which, by the way, I'm going to show you the menu. I'm going to show you the menu, both for the Hammer and Spark and for the Skyreach Inn. The inn has a robust menu. Like the Hammer and Spark, they have games of chance, but drunkenness and disorder will not be tolerated. The law of Aether abides. Then you have the patrons who's in there at any given time. And once again, there are hooks in there that you can put. Choose, roll, whatever you want to do. You have a celestial cartographer sketching constellations on a napkin. You have a party of adventurers looking for work. You have a weary traveling bard tuning their lute, preparing for an evening performance, right? There's all kinds of things going on there that you have. All right, then you have Summit Supplies General Store. Oswald is the grounded half of the partnership, a stout man, perpetually furrowed a brow. He's the meticulous record keeper, the one who ensures the shelves are stocked with essentials, and the one who frets over supply lines and profit margins. Marion is the quiet visionary, leaner and with eyes that seem to hold distant horizons. She's the one with the uncanny ability to procure rare and unusual goods. They settled in Skyreach, drawn by the growing buzz around the Ethereal Vale, seeing it as a unique marketplace for their particular talents. They started small, leveraging their combined experience and Marion's knack for finding the unfindable. What does that mean? Well, she's very good at finding stuff. How she finds it, we don't know yet. Then we have Vale's Bounty Souvenir Shop. Once again, Burning Man meets Area 51. And, there are, a bunch of Area 51 alien stores. And so this is kind of like a knick-knack shop, if you will, kind of where you could buy things. So in an effort to cash in on the biannual event of the Starfall Festival, Vale's Bounty was open. And Kasula Jordan is an elf, opened the shop shortly after the shimmering light started to draw crowds of people from all around the land of the gods. Patrons of the Starfall Festival can pick up Starfall dust jars, tiny sealed glass vials filled with iridescent power and sparkles and shifts in the light. So it's basically like a little shaky thing. It's almost like a snow globe in a way. The Stardust was purportedly collected during the peak of the Ethereal Vale. If you ask nicely, Kasula may show you items from behind the counter, which are believed to have fallen out of the Vale. Maybe they did, maybe they didn't, but they're there. And Kasula maintains a small library with history of books about the Starfall Festival and early encounters with the Ethereal Vale. Let's move along. So what's behind the counter? Okay, I give you 10 things. You can roll a D10, do that, but they're all there. I won't go through all those, but it gives you items that you can find that are behind the counter. And we'll go through there. We're not doing too bad. We're up to page 23 already. Oh, how much artwork again? By the way, let me go back through there. All right, so we're up to 3, 4, 5, 6. I think we're up to 6. 6 pieces of art. 7, if you count that. 8. 9. 10, 11. 12. 12 pieces of art we're up to, okay? That would be 13. That would be 14. All right, Tower of Aether. I'm going to write that down. 14. So I keep track of what I have here. 14. There's 14 pieces of art currently. The high white Tower of Aether is not only the largest structure in Skyreach. It was also the first structure built. Calith Starshaper, the high hand of Aether, presides over the faithful who have committed themselves to embodying the law and order to the best of their ability. The tower has a small chapel for services, several classrooms, and a war room for training. Calith and the 24 or so members of the Tower of Aether prepare every year for the Aetherian Veil, standing ready should someone or something exit the Veil to threaten Skyreach. Besides keeping the order in Skyreach, they are actively investigating the cult of the Veil, standing guard against the heresy and chaos they seek to bring to undermine Aether's law. So there you go. Conflict. Conflict with the Ironclad Yards. Conflict with the cult of the Veil. I like it. Cult, right? All right. Then you have the Veilview Amphitheater. The Veilview Amphitheater is far more than just a row of rows of rock seats. It's a grand natural bowl. Its tiered benches rise in a sweeping arc that perfectly frames the vast expanse of the northern sky, directly aligned with the most intense manifestations of the Aetherian Veil. And you can see the way it faces, you can see the mountains in the background, the Aether Mountains. The Veilview Amphitheater is a true community endeavor, a testament to Skyreach's shared reverence for the Aetherian Veil. Its upkeep is collaborative effort. Because I thought about that. Who keeps this up? Who's in charge of this? It's dedicated that reportedly directed, its upkeep is a collaborative effort overseen by a small dedicated committee that reports directly toward Fargo Slough. Besides the Starfall Festival, the amphitheater hosts the local Lear of Legends, with the winner going on to Guardian Grove for the final. In addition, Jocelyn Alara uses the venue for job fairs, and the Aether Knights put on demonstrations. So this is going to be a multifunctional thing, just like it is in any city. Your venue for things. So you're always thinking about, how can we get more people to come here? How can we do this? So, there's going to be job fairs. There's going to be, other things. And I have plans to put other things there, which will be a lot of fun. Let me check the chat here and see how you guys are doing. All right. Looks like you're doing okay. Any questions thus far? Does this sound interesting? Are you getting ideas? And like I said, we're up to 14 pieces of art. Is the art not good, as in is the art good, but is it a good amount of art that I have thus far? Not too much, not too little. Comments are welcome. Let us continue then, since the chat is among themselves. All right. So now let me show you. After these are the 8 locations, and this is Skyreach Village. Now let me go ahead. This is the village here. You can see I do have them all mapped out. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. I will show you. Let me jump out of here for just a second, and we'll go back. Let me jump over here real quick. Take myself out of there. I will show you this. Here's what it looks like here. So this is an 11 by 17. Just like the other ones, the maps I made for the region. If you have not seen these, there's like 6 different maps that I put into Land of the Gods. Crit Happens, issue number 10. There's like 4 or 5 different maps of these that you can use. And so just like that, you can take this, put it any size you want. It's small enough, big enough, whatever you want to put it, to give every person a map. You can slap this on the table. You can move. You could literally put, I think the inches, I think maybe they might be an inch. You could actually put this right on the table, and put this on the table and put your minis on there if you want. So Well, good morning, Michael Stengel. And thank you for the happy birthday. Appreciate you being here. Thanks for hanging out. We're walking through the Crit Happens issue number 11, Village of Skyreach. And I just showed the maps. One of the maps there. And I'm going to make more of those. So if you think maybe I'll do like I did with the Land of the Gods maps. I'll go ahead and put, different, maybe parchment, if you like parchment. If you want to do like a parchment one, print it off that way. You could do that. Let's go back to this here. And we'll come back here. All right. So we have maps. First map I've ever drawn, by the way. This is really the first map, not the first map, but the first established. And by the way, it's my birthday, and I'm feeling kind of proud of myself today. This, like I said, this is I'm not a professional at anything. Okay, well, I am a professional, but not in this, right? So this is me following steps from a book by our friend Robert Connolly, How to Make a Fantasy Thing. So I'm doing, after this, I may jump into making my last 3 steps and talk about the organizations of the regions, things of that nature, have some more ideas. But I'm kind of happy with, the fact that I'm going to put out a 12th zine next month, that I've been consistent with this for 12 months. Okay, it's all right. You can do that. Once again, if you're new and you're watching this, if I can do it, you can do it, right? It just takes time. It just takes sacrifice, where I'm not watching, I cut down on my YouTube watching. I just don't watch as many YouTube videos. I don't watch as many. I'd rather create than consume. I think that has to be the passion. You have to have a hunger to create rather than to consume. Say, Paul, can't you do both? You can. I'm not saying you can't. I'm just saying that if you want to put out into the world what you want to put out, then you're going to have to probably cut down on the consuming and up your creation process. At least that's what I have found for me to get this done. Your mileage may vary, right? Okay, let's move along. I will check the chat one more time. Okay, you guys are hanging out listening. Cool. All right, feel free, like I said, leave comments as we go. Does the map count as a piece of art? I would think it would. So I think we're up to 15 pieces of art. Okay. And we move along. So let's keep going here. Then we get into the characters. Who are these people that do these things? Now we have Owen Lashley, a.k.a. Owen the Merciful. So he is definitely in the cleric realm, which I have not. I have an idea. I have levels. I have titles for the Aetherian Knights of Kriesh. And I think you have to choose. At some point there's a divergence. You're either you can fight. You're not going to be a knight. You can be a knight. I guess you will be a cleric. You'll be a cleric knight. I haven't quite figured that out, but that's going to be what it's going to be. Owen was born in Skyreach, in the yards specifically. Interesting. When he was old enough, he started making deliveries. Once on his way back from a delivery, bandits struck. After a bloody battle, a nearly dead Owen received a vision of Aether calling him to join the tower. He never went back to the yards. So there's his story. Shortly after reaching the distinction of Sentinel, which tells you there's levels, right? There's something there. Do your own thing if you want. I will put mine out as I go. Owen had a falling out with Kalish Starshaper over his rigid disciplining of a fellow knight. So something happened there. And I edited that. That was something else. And I think you have to be willing to say, that doesn't sound right. That doesn't sound like why Owen would quit something. He wouldn't quit it over that. He would quit it over this. So, is he out for good? Maybe. It says Owen remains friendly with Caliph, but their opinions have not changed. But should Caliph need Owen, Owen would heed the call. So he would be involved. Okay. Also, another piece of art. So we'll count that as 16. 15, 16, 17. Once again, different pieces of art here. I'm trying to find the best stuff. that I can find that I think matches. But Tim always says, Tim Shorts always says that the zines that he was fond of were these zines that used crazy art. There was no theme or consistency per se amongst the art pieces. The art pieces just kind of were plugged in there. It was very DIY type stuff, and so I hope it kind of gives that vibe. That's kind of what I like. Will it ever be where I'm doing like art of same people or something like that? Maybe. We'll see. That depends on how many zines I sell. Can I buy more art? Well, that depends on a lot of things. Do I sell zines? Do I have members on on YouTube that want to help out with that? Do I, all those things are things. So, but I like that little dwarf. He's fun. Skaz, as his friends call him, is one of 3 managers over Ironclad Yards, along with Elion Winris, an elf, and Ivris Axon, a human. Skaz lives in the shadow of his father Dorbic Metalborn, war hero of the Shadowed Age. Skaz is the oldest of 4 brothers, Braverick, Therol, Gorman, and in the yards, and all work in the yards, spends too much time cleaning up their messes. So guess what? There's hooks right there. The brothers have done something stupid. Under Metalborn's leadership, Ironclad Yards has thrived, but in recent years, business has slowed with no wars to fight. It is rumored that Skaz and his brothers are not hoping for another war, but are actively trying to make one happen. I probably should have used the word provoke, but that's okay. The raids on deliveries in the West have increased, but who is to blame? What do they want? And who put them up to it? We find out a little bit later. Maybe there's something there, right? So the West, by the way, west of Skyreach, undeveloped. I don't know what's out there yet, but I have an idea. There's some things that are happening out there. Maybe my next area that I build out. Then you have Dwardak, Bone Grip. Dwardak oversees the slag and makes sure the road hoax are not only roadworthy, but terrifying to where no bandit would attempt to rob it, and yet they still try. Dwardak and Skaz have made many adventures together, some of which they'd rather forget. In the early days when they were drivers, they made a run west of Skyreach. It was a bad idea to begin with. They made a run west of Skyreach. It was a bad idea to begin with. They barely escaped with their lives after witnessing such death and carnage. They do not speak of this event, and if they do, it is in hushed tones, for they fear whatever they encountered might be listening. Let's see. That's how many is that? 17, 18, 19. We'll say 19. 19 pieces of art. Then you have Raven Lavoie. An eye patch, a dangerous smile, and fast reflexes are not all there is to Raven Lavoie. She's worked in the yards for over a decade and only goes on special runs when she's asked to. Otherwise, she's filling mugs and breaking up fights she likely started. The Hammer and Spark is her family, and if you choose violence against them, be prepared to receive violence back, likely with her Blade Star. Yes, a Blade Star. If you saw the video I did when I was doing the creation process, you know that this is the what is called the glaive from Krull. So she's got one. I said, why not? Let's put it in there. Give her something cool. Lately, strange and alarming things have been happening to some of the patrons of the Hammer and Spark, and Raven has an uneasy feeling her past has caught up to her. What does that mean? Her past. There's some ideas, right? What is haunting her? What is coming back to get her? Then you have Kasula Joran with flowing blonde hair and lithe figure. Kasula can be found in one of 3 places. At Vale's Bounty stocking and selling, wandering the Starfall Amphitheater looking for possible treasures from the other side, or at a small shrine dedicated to Eso, the god of magic and wonders. So that tells you where she is from, right? What is going on? Another reason to travel somewhere. Kasula wears a brass celestial headband decorated with stars, glass centerpiece shimmering. When she walks, she will tell you what lies inside. That glass piece is a remnant of the veil. What is unusual about Kasula is that when someone mentions her, there are some who believe she's relatively new to town, while others believe she has been here all along. The truth is somewhere in between. So that leaves a little bit of mystery. Is Kasula Joran from the Veil? We don't know. Could be true in your game. I haven't decided in my game yet. So we'll find out. Then you have Kayla Starshaper. Kayla despises Skyreach, not because it's not Guardian Grove. So you have this guy who gets shipped off to his position, his post. Why is that? Well, at the bottom it says that he longs to be where the action is, but is committed to protecting Skyreach and its citizens in addition to patrolling the city. Caleb and his knights have been called upon once or twice to squash near riots over at the Ironclad Yards. Caleb and Snosgat have nearly come to blows over who has jurisdiction at the yards. Caleb does not trust Skosnat and keeps his eye on him and has noted when he has made a drive west. Then you have Fargo Slough, proud ward of Skyreach. He is cousin to one of Festus Slough's great grandkids, and has been ward for the past 12 years, mostly because no one else wants the job. He is married to Eliana Slough and has 2 children, Savian and Celestial Slough. He is good-natured, hearty, and has keen business sense. One of Fargo's first decisions was to banish a gang of outlaws, the Skyshankers, who bullied, badgered, and extorted the townspeople of Skyreach. The Aether Knights assisted with cruel pleasure. They headed out west of Skyreach and have not returned since, but there are rumors that the gang has joined an infernal army. So once again, clues to maybe where I'm taking it. Could be clues of whatever you want to put out, whatever you're going to put your stuff. But once again, gives them a little bit of clue as to what's there. Then you have Jaslyn Alara. Jaslyn is Fargo Slough's right-hand elf. She's not from Skyreach, but from Shadowfen, where magic flows freely, but so does deceit. Jaslyn is running from her legacy. The Alara family isn't just wealthy, they are silent power behind much of Shadowfen's illicit trade dealing in forbidden lore, cursed artifacts, and even the dark magic that subtly permeates the Fen. Jaslyn fled to Skyreach, seeking a place where she could start over and keep her hands clean. Her father views her departure as both a betrayal and a strategic loss. He has sent agents of the Whispering Arrow to Skyreach disguised as legitimate merchants or scholars, not necessarily to harm her, but to subtly pressure her undermine her new position, or even force her to return. It would be in their best interest to remember that she was once one of them. So does that mean she was once a Whispering Arrow, part of this elite squad of archers? Maybe. Let's see here. I'm checking with the chat. Anybody? Let's see. There we go. Congrats on 12 zines in 12 months. Thank you, Tim. Appreciate it, buddy. Skyshanker. That sounds bad. That's right. They are. I haven't decided what they're all doing yet, but they're gonna make an appearance at some point. Let's keep going here. Keep going. I think we're good on time. As you know, I try to keep it to an hour and a half. I don't go too long if I don't have to. Other notable shops and NPCs, and I'm just going to run through these. You have Morgan Shuffsalt, the Leathercrafter. You have Iona Digmorn, the Physician. You have Balthazar Silvermere, a jeweler. Elric Faircloth, the Tailor. You have Drogo Adderstrong, pawn shop and loan guy. He has. I'll read his because once again, I've tried to put these little hooks in there. His eyes miss nothing, a smile that rarely reaches full spread. There are rumors his past is tangled with the Shadow Syndicate, where he likely managed their illicit finances or fenced their most dangerous acquisitions. He may or may not be on the run and in hiding. So there we go. Another thing to create there. Let me go back to the art here. Let's see. I'm going to say we had 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So that puts us at about 20. What does that put us at? 24 pieces of art thus far. Okay. For those keeping track at home. You have Oswald, Marion, Westerhope, which is the general store. We learned a little bit about them in there. You have Keep Your Eye on the Veil. Now, I'm starting to put little mechanics in here. They're not necessarily game mechanics as much as they're just ways to open up the story. So the veil is a phenomenon that occurs twice a year, but there are those who study the veil, like Casula Jordan and the Aether Knights, who believe this is not a seasonal event connected with nature, but rather is an incursion from realms beyond Kriesh. If your players are in town during the Starfall Festival, choose a table, friend or foe, roll a d6 to see what comes through the veil. So 1 through 3, it's a friend. 4 through 6, it's a foe. How many come through? Depends, right? If you want to roll it, however many times you want to roll it, you can. But I've tried to make it to where whatever comes through is going to lead to a hook somehow, right? It's kind of like, you could do episodic type of things where, the veil opens up every, now it's starting to open up more. It's part Stargate. It's part, what am I thinking about? I can't remember the show where a guy shows up in different forms. He shows up every week in different scenarios. So something like that where you can do episodics. Well, what's coming through the veil this week, boys and girls? And then I have the chart here. The friend or foe aspect of the veil may reveal a struggle between the architects. Now, I mentioned this way back. This is like a little, when I talk about the pantheon, when I talk about the guardians of the grove, which is the deity, the pantheon of Kriesh. And I tossed in there that there's something beyond, that basically all the guardians are mortals who became gods. And that was at the will of the architects. Well, the architects and, could be in some sort of battle that the architects, maybe put the veil in as a failsafe. Should they saw Weave, which basically started the demigod rebellion, has led us to here, right? Where the horror comes from. All these demigods now that are flooded all over Kriesh, causing massive chaos. But be they beasts from Gorgon or messengers from beyond, watch the veil, hold your breath, and above all, have your sword ready. So if they're a friend, I have a list of 10 things there. Foes, if there's a foe, I've tried to make it a lot. Like if there's two D100 undead coming through, like it's just going to be this massive pouring out of undead. It's not going to be one undead, one elder dread. 3D20 beasts, and it's I just laugh. I laugh at the notion because I just think to myself that, when this happens, these poor people that are watching this to come and just watch the show, so to speak, if it's bad, it's going to be really bad. Like people are getting torn up, people are getting eaten, people are getting slaughtered. It's just not going to be a good day. It's not going to be a good day in Skyreach. When this thing eventually opens up, right? You get 1d4 dragons showing up maybe, which once again, don't let me forget, I'm going to show you the dragons that are coming up. And then that's it. That's it, the friend or foe. And then I give you more crit happens, resources for building your world. I put what I think are some good world building resources. Some of them I've used to build this world. And then, of course, the last page usually where I give you all my information and such. So let me go back. I'm going to go back to, that's issue 11 there, folks. Let me go back to big screen here, and I'll show you some of the other things that I have here. If you have not purchased yet, check the chat, check the description. All the links are there to get your issue. Either get the single issue or the bundle. Both are half off. You can get the single issue for, $1. That's 50% off. Or you can get the bundle. For, there's two of me there. You don't need two of me. Or you can get the bundle for half off, right? So which is like $6, which is I think 8 zines at this point within the Hex Crawl of Horror, parameters. Issue 4 through now 11. It's going to be, that's the Hex Crawl. That's all Kriesh stuff. That's all world building and all of that. You can get 8 zines for $6. I think it's a good deal. Yeah, Michael Stengo, Time Bandits, for sure. Yeah, You could just, if you're going to walk, you know, the adventurers can walk through the veil. You're somewhere else, man. Now we start getting into the planar stuff, right? Why? Okay, why am I counting art? The reason I said that, Tim, was I was wondering how much art is too much art. I was talking earlier about people that have to print this zine off, like yourself, that prints them off. I try not to do too much harm to people's printers and their wallets when they do this. So I'm just wondering how much art is too much art. So, you know, I think we put ourselves now within this, within these 43 pages. I believe there's around 20, I'll say 26 pieces of art, you know, and most of that is Canva. There's nothing original per se there, but that's why I said that. So you guys have questions, good time to ask questions. I'm going to start wrapping it up here in just a minute, but I will show you this. If you buy, in addition to the zine, which is the 43 pages, here's what I'll show you some other things I've made here. You get the map. There's the map again. If you didn't see that, you can print that off. You know, whatever way, if you want to do it 8.5 by 11. Mine was, the one I showed you earlier is 11 by 17. Then here is, I put it on both white paper. I give white and parchment. So I have Raven's rules for the hammer and spark. So if you want to have a fun little thing and give a handout to your players, you could give Raven's rules. Here's rules for, if you're going in, they're posted right there inside of the hammer and spark. So you can either do it in white or I give you the parchment version. So I try to give you more options. And then I give you the Skyreach menu here. There's a Skyreach Inn and Tavern drink menu. And then I'll go through this here with you. I give you spirits. I give you the liquor that you can have. There's some recipes there. How much does everything cost? I give you the wine list. I give you the secret stash of things there. I give you the food menu. So there's appetizers. And by the way, Skyreach Inn is a little bit more cultured, if you want to say it that way, versus the Hammer and Sparks menu, a little bit different. Owen runs a tight ship. He doesn't want he wants to be a little bit high class, so he's trying to run the inn like an inn. And then you have desserts, and then I have a game here, and this is basically it's gambling, right? And it says, in the corner of the room, there is a basket with a string attached. Place 5 gold pieces in the coffer and pull the string. 3 fruit will fall from the basket in a row. Depending on the order is how much money you win. So, especially if you're playing a slot machine. Like if you go to even casual places, Applebee's or wherever, you know, you go and there's a little slot machine that you have to pull the thing and, you know, you're playing trivia or whatever you're doing. So if you want a micro game, there's a micro game you can play. Right there. And then you have, once again, you have the Hammer and Spark as well, has their, let's see, for the Hammer and Spark, you know, I have theirs as well. I have their ales and beers, their spirits. I've tried to use different artwork on these as well to make the difference between the Hammer and Spark and the Skyreach Inn. So I've tried to make those different for your players. So if you want to print them off and give them to them, they may be much, but you know what? I'd rather overdo it. I'd rather give more. Use it as you please. If all you want to do is appetizers, then just do appetizers. And then you have something called Goblin's Eye, which is basically darts, but they're playing at the Hammer and Spark. They're playing with pieces of scrap, like sharp, razor sharp metal pieces of scrap that they throw at the Goblin's Eye. And you can see here, you roll a d20, you're in this quadrant, you're in this quadrant, you're in this quadrant, and then you roll again to see which ring you're in. So are you in the inner ring? You roll inner ring is d6 one time, outer ring, you have those. And then I give you, and actually if you wanted to print it off for your players and put it on the table, then I've given you the actual bullseye there that you can use. And then I made it in white, print it off in white. And then I give you the actual scraps, right? These razor sharp pieces of metal that if you wanted to cut them up, once again, how much you want to get into it, if they're all relaxing at the end, you say, hey, we're going to play a fun micro game, and we're going to do it where we roll dice, and you can put your little piece of scrap somewhere on the thing. You can do that, right? Just a little extra bonus thing. And then, of course, we have skeleton bones, which is basically just a push your luck kind of game where you're going to roll from the D4 to the D20 and you pay so much money, but you have to roll under a certain number. And if you don't, then you lose, right? You lose you can either choose to keep your money or you say, I'm going to push it and I'm going to go ahead and roll again. So it's kind of like, roulette or any other game where you say, look, I'll take another card and like a 21 or something like that. And then you have, like I said, D6, D8, D10, D12, D20. And there you go. You have that. Then you have Skyreach, and then I give you the NPCs. So here's just some of the NPCs. I don't have them all. I give you the major ones. I may add the other ones later. You have the different, I give you the stats because this is system neutral. I just say, look, have at it. These are what I think the scores are that represent them best. Change it as you want. But there you go. That's what I said. DM notes. I put core stats for each of these NPCs, but I also left them system neutral and customizable for whatever system you are playing. Make it yours. That's the deal, right? All right. I'm going to show a dragon here in a minute. Tim says, I think you've done an incredible job with the series. Great job, Paul, and I hope you'll run us through it sometime. Well, I will be happy to do so. That'd be fun to see. I'm going to tell you right now that I think it'll be a foe that comes out of there. Maybe, but it'll probably be a foe that comes out of the veil. All right, so your choice. We'll wrap it up here. Once again, links in the description, links in the chat. If you wish to buy the Crit Happens number 11, if you want to buy the bundle, 50% off over on Gumroad, on my Gumroad site there. And then you can, let's see, if you want to, your birthday gift to me, should you want to do that, is leave a review, either on Drivethrurpg, which I don't think I have any reviews yet for any of the zines. Would love for you to do that. Like I said, either on Gumroad or Drive-Thru or both. Okay, you can do that. Let's see. So, what say you? Would you like to see a Blight Dragon? I'm going to show you one. A Blight Dragon, a Cthulhu Dragon, or a Sand Dragon? Which of those would you like? Would you like to see? Vote in the chat. Come on, chat. We're going to finish strong today. What would you like to see? The Blight. Most votes. That's the one I'm going to show. And I'm only going to show one. Blight, Cthulhu, Sand Dragon. And these are all. They're all going to be put in parts of the map that I've already got mapped out in my head for Kriesh. So, tell me, which dragon would you like to see? Blight. Okay? I'm going to vote for Blight. Anyone else? Anyone else? Give you a couple more seconds here. Any questions? Any questions about the zine? Any questions about the world? Anything like that? If you see watching this later, comments down below. Tell me what you think. Otherwise, I've enjoyed my time here with you guys. I like to spend my birthday with friends, right? I don't mind. Like, I could go alone and just say, I'm just going to do whatever, but I have a busy day today. I'm going to a graduation party. I'm going to have dinner with my wife. But why not start the day with friends and have a lovely birthday time and kick your day off, the way you want to kick it off, with a bunch of people you like and that you hang out with and those kind of things. So, all right, that's the only one. I'm only seeing Blight, so I guess we're going to see the Blight. Let's go ahead and check out the Blight Dragon, which I do like. And I'll tell you something about it. So there is the Blight Dragon. I'll make it nice and big here. Okay. That is the Blight Dragon. And it is pretty scary. I like it. It is... I like it because it's like a little model. Like, oh, let me show you. Let me show you the Blight Dragon. See if I can show. You can kind of see a little bit better that way, maybe. If I kind of put hands that way. What do you think, Vance? Do you like the Blight Dragon? And I will tell you this. I have already made something that is going to where the Blight Dragon is going to have seasons where it's going to come out. I will shrink it back here for the moment. We'll leave it right up here where you can see a little bit better. But there we go. But yeah, I've also established that in Skyreach, let me see if I can get a map here. So out here, I'll show you right here. Somewhere out here, between the Witches of the Blackened Earth and Guardian Grove, there's what's called the Scar. And the Scar, all right, there we go. Tim's on it. Tim says Blight, good. I've already shown the Blight. That's the only one I'm going to show you for right now, because I got to work on, Dragons of Skyreach, which hopefully will be June. I'm ahead of the game. So I like being a week ahead. A month, well, yeah, a week ahead basically in putting out the zine, so I have time now to kind of work on it. But yeah, but that's it right here. The Blight Dragon, made by Jeremy Hart. If you like his artwork, it's all over the place. It's great stuff. And these, like I said, these are custom pieces he drew for me. I love paying artists especially when they do great work like this right here. I like it that he's on top of the dice. He's just kind of hanging out on top of the dice there. But yeah. So now that Scar is where the Blight and Guardian Grove proper. So there's this constant battle. There's still a battle line that's fighting the Blight that is trying to reach Guardian Grove, and the dragon here may need to make an appearance. And I have a name for him. I'm pretty sure I have a name for him. Do I have a name? I do have a name for him. If you remember what it is. Hey, Tim, have a great day, buddy. Thanks for being here. Appreciate you being a part today. And I'm out, too. I'm going to go get some things done, work on some other things. But thanks for being here today. Thanks for the birthday wishes. And like I said, if you want to get yourself the zine, well, go ahead, and links are down below, all the good stuff. But I enjoyed hanging out with you guys today, and he's very pointing. Looks like he doesn't start his mornings with no, not like me. Unlike me, who starts his morning with friends, he does not. He starts his day with violence. That's what he does. He chooses violence every morning. All right, that's it for today, guys. Thank you so much for being a part today. Appreciate you being here, hanging out on my birthday. Otherwise, have a great day today. Leave your comments. Watching this in the future, leave comments. Be sure to hit the thumbs up button, the likes, all the things, the shares, all the things. And I will see you guys in the next video. Have a great day, everybody. We'll talk to you later.